The station with the most local news. This is News 4 at 6:30.
Right now on News 4 at 6:30, water woes still happening in Niagara Falls. We have an update tonight on one of the massive water main breaks.
And lake effect snow has tapered off, but it's still a very breezy evening. Could see a few more flakes south of the city tonight, but we're talking about more wind getting into the weekend. I'll tell you about that coming up in your 4-1 forecast.
And a disturbing story about a Western New York doctor, what he's accused of doing to children and what he's already admitted to. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6:30. I'm Dave Graber.
And I'm Christy Kern. Things are quieting down in Western New York after we saw snow most of the day. This is video from downtown Buffalo earlier this afternoon showing a white hazy sky and messy road conditions, but the snow has stopped tonight.
4-1 meteorologist Andrew Baglini is tracking what's in store for the rest of the night, and also, Andrew, some warmer temperatures that are on track for the weekend, right?
Yeah, we do have some a bit of a weekend warm-up ahead for sure, and if you have any outdoor plans, pay close attention to the forecast because we do have sometimes that will be much better than others for those. But I'll talk about that in my full forecast. Right now, yeah, we did have that snow earlier today, but it tapered off just in time to see a really nice sunset. Ariel sending us this photo in from Cheektowaga, a beautiful fiery sky as the sun went away. And we did see some of that sunshine to end things here around Buffalo and downtown. Down to pavement along the Skyway, so no real big problems on the roads from that earlier snow. Certainly manageable, but we still do have that winter weather advisory through 7 o'clock tonight for northern Erie and Genesee counties. That's where the lake effect snow was focused earlier today. And even though the snow tapered off a couple of hours ago, we still have that snow on the ground, and we could see some blowing and drifting happening a bit later tonight. Radar showing little more than just some flurries across northern Chautauqua County on that radar. But again, pretty quiet otherwise outside of that. Temperatures outside running in the low and mid-20s across the Niagara frontier, some upper teens in the southern tier, and a bit breezy, noticeably so, enough where you want to still bundle up as you head outside. Latest wind gusts from the airport at 25 miles per hour, so it's still going to be a bit blustery, especially around the metro and the Niagara frontier later tonight, enough to bring the wind chills down at times in the teens and single digits. So that breeze, again, could be blowing and drifting some of that snow that's on the ground around, and that could cause a few slick spots on the roads, but I don't anticipate big issues. Tomorrow morning, still a bit breezy. Make sure the kids are bundled up as they head out the door, but the real wind kicks back in tomorrow night. Very strong winds at times from tomorrow night into Saturday morning, and that could cause some issues getting into the weekend. We'll have more on that. Also, the weekend warm-up and our next chance for rain and snow on the way. I'll time all that out for you in your full forewarned forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Developing tonight at 6:30, we are following a disturbing story out of Wayne County.
A doctor there is accused of possessing and distributing child pornography. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced at a news conference this afternoon they arrested Dr. David Blazechak. He currently treats adults and children at Clyde Family Health Center in Clyde, New York. Prosecutors say the investigation started in March 2012. They say Dr. Blazechak was buying child pornography off of websites. Authorities executed a search warrant at his home in Newark, New York today and took him into custody. Prosecutors say Blazechak told them he never abused any of his patients, but he did admit to something else.
When asked, Dr. Blazechak claimed that he was conducting his own independent research about child sex abuse and that he paid the parents of his patients on approximately 8 different occasions to photograph their children's genitals. He admitted that that research was not sanctioned by any hospital, university, or other medical organization. He claimed that he took the images for teaching purposes, but that he had further admitted that he kept the photographs himself for his own gratification.
Prosecutors say they found thumb drives at his home and other devices filled with thousands of images of child pornography. Anyone who may have been treated by the doctor is asked to call Homeland Security Investigations out of Buffalo. The number is 464-5931.
So once I had been banging on the door and I wasn't getting any response, I started kicking the door as hard as I could.
The witness describes how she tried to jump into action when she saw a home go up in flames. Jen Gray says she couldn't open the door at 21 Carey Place in Jamestown. Inside was an elderly man, and sadly he did not survive. The Jamestown Fire Department tells Western New York News Now the fire was an accident, but they did not explain how it started. We'll bring you those details and the victim's identity as soon as they're released. Well, 6 months after being shot to death, New York State Police are still trying to figure out who killed an elderly man in Allegheny County.
It happened during the July 4th weekend last year in the small town of Ward. Police say 82-year-old Ray Cornelius was found dead inside his farmhouse. Police say a lack in physical evidence and witnesses are causing problems. Still, they say they aren't ready to call it a cold case just yet.
I don't think we're anywhere near that with this case. We still do have active leads coming in on a daily and weekly basis. And until those run out, then we'll continue to work it as an active homicide.
Police say no shell casings were found at the scene and there were no signs of forced entry. They did collect DNA evidence but have not found any matches. If you have any information on this homicide, you're asked to call State Police at 585-344-6200. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrested 46 foreign nationals during a 5-day operation that wrapped up last week.
And half of those arrested had criminal records, according to ICE. The ICE office in Western New York says criminal records of those arrested included charges for things like grand larceny, firearms and drug possession, child endangerment and abuse, DWI, and forgery. 4 of them were fugitives, and 6 of them illegally re-entered the country after being deported. That's according to ICE. The 35 men and 11 women were from Canada, Mexico, countries in South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. Last week's sweep is part of the federal government's stepped-up enforcement that was expected in 2018. Oh, it has been over a month since a massive water main burst on 47th Street in Niagara Falls.
Tonight, it's still causing problems. The break affected water pressure at homes in the area and even forced the high school to close for several days. News 4's Chris Horvanez has an update on the progress being made.
For now, close isn't good enough for some people in the Falls who still don't have full water pressure. That's been the case for almost 5 weeks now. But today I learned things could be back to normal as soon as Monday.
It literally gets nothing.
But if you wait for just a few seconds,
besides that,
this is what the shower looks like in Joshua Dion's home in Niagara Falls. Since December 15th, the day a 36-inch concrete water line broke on 47th Street, he's had to make other arrangements.
If I have to take a shower, I either have to go to my grandma's or I have to go to my cousin's house.
Dion is one of the people frustrated waiting for the line to be fixed.
It should take no longer than a week or 2. But I understand it was a holiday, so I added on a 3rd week because of Christmas.
It's been nearly 5, but today News 4 learned the repair could be finished next week. Crews are still working on a valve.
We're optimistic that that job will be complete tomorrow. Again, that's not a hard date because it all depends on the situation in regards to anything like this, in regards to the mechanics of it and so forth.
According to Niagara Falls Water Board Superintendent Bob Drury, if the valve is fixed tomorrow, they will send water samples out for testing immediately. And if after 48 hours they come back negative, the board can begin slowly turning the water back on Sunday. Officials say pressure would then reach full strength Monday. But the timeline is tentative.
Hopefully it's over when it's over.
We're confident that this won't break again, but to be able to see into the ground to predict that something else doesn't break would be foolhardy.
The Water Board has recently added a new piece of equipment to help prevent major breaks like that when it's a camera truck, which they say can basically see into the ground. The superintendent says that will be going into service soon. Chris Horvatz, News 4.
Time is running out for gun owners in New York who need to recertify their pistol permits. If your pistol permit was issued before January 15th, 2013, you must reapply by January 31st. That's under the New York SAFE Act. Paper applications can be picked up at the Erie County Auto Bureau, any of them, or any New York State Police barracks. Some people are concerned that there will be consequences if they don't recertify their permits right away. New York State Police say you don't need to worry, at least for now.
If you unknowingly did not recertify your pistol permit, the New York State Police will not press any criminal charges if you do go past that deadline.
Now, after the grace period, those found to be in violation will be charged with a misdemeanor, and the guns will be taken away. Now, there is also a very high demand as the deadline is quickly approaching. So if you have to make an appointment, you have to if it's your first time applying. You're asked to call the Erie County Clerk's office. You see the number right there on your screen, 858-8866.
Still to come at 6:30, Amazon bypasses Buffalo, saying it won't consider our area for its new headquarters. The man behind the push to bring it here joins us live on set to explain what he thinks about the decision.
And looking to the west, some quiet weather heading our way, and that'll be the case for the next couple of days. But we do have a storm system approaching late this weekend. I'll tell you about that coming up in your 4-1 forecast.